This is a hair color correction session. She has 1 to 3 inches of gray new growth. She has previously bleached mid-shaft and ends. I highlighted her new growth and blended it with her existing bleached ends, and I blended away her gray at the roots. Look at the final results. This is beautiful. It's soft, it's feminine, and it took forever to achieve. I began by sectioning the hair in the classic 5 panel sections, and I began at the front right hairline. I'm using a classic weave section technique. I know a lot of textured hair girls, when they hear weave, they think of hair addition. In hair color, they use weave as a term to indicate how we section the hair. It's really like a skip section. You see, I'm applying the bleach only to the new growth hair. I'm not applying the bleach on the hair that's already been bleached. And further than that, I'm isolating it with the aluminum. You see how I'm taking a 1/2 inch section and I'm weaving out 3 sections, and I'm only applying the bleach to the middle section of hair. You'll see in the end, this technique will really give you a diffused, highlighted look. Because this client is up to 80% gray with it concentrated at the front hairline, I'm not going to apply the bleach all the way up to the scalp. What we're going to do with that hair, with that gray hair, is we're going to use a demi-permanent hair color to blend that gray. It's going to appear as though it's a root smudge. I continue applying the bleach to the woven hair sections. I started at the very bottom and I worked my way up to the top. I used curve partings as I approach the temple area. We want to curve the partings so that they mimic the shape of the head. This client is a natural hair color level 1, and her density, that's how many hairs per square inch, is medium to dense. It's medium around the front hairline, and it gets more dense as we go into the crown and the back nape. You want to apply a generous amount of bleach to the section that you're working on. You want to be able to cover the hair thoroughly. And I'm going to give you a quick tip. You apply bleach to the hair more than one time throughout the lifting session, especially if your natural hair color level is 5 and below. That's the Eumelanin pigments. That's the blackest black to the medium brown. The pigments in the cortex layer are very congested, very compacted, and it's difficult to lift those pigments, to oxidize those pigments out of the hair. So throughout the lifting process, you have to apply the bleach product more than once. At the first pass, what it's doing is it's swelling the hair, causing the cuticle layers to open and allowing the bleach product to get into that cortex layer where the pigments reside. And once there, what the bleach does is it oxidizes the pigments out of the hair. So the longer and the stronger you leave the bleach product on the hair, the stronger the bleach product and the longer you leave it on, the more pigments you eliminate. For professional hair color, we describe hair color in levels 1 through 10, 1 being the blackest black and 10 being the palest blonde. Now, all minorities are level 5 and below, and I don't know why I call them minorities, because in the world they're actually the majorities. So that's your Latinos, your Italians, your Brazilians, your Africans, your Romanians, right? Most of the world is a level 5 and below in hair color. Unfortunately, in the past, manufacturers didn't really formulate or test on levels 5 and below. But now in the 21st century, where everybody is embracing diversity, they are at least giving you tips on how to highlight, even if they aren't actually going in and reformulating. I mean, there are some brands of hair color that are intrinsically warm gold. Why? Because they are formulated for the faux pheomelanins, the 5 and above hair colors, the browns, light browns, and the blondes who lack the warmth. So some hair color manufacturers, they formulate their hair colors for levels 5 and above. And that's why levels 5 and below have a hard time reaching that targeted, cool, healthy blonde. We finished the first round of bleach application on the right side, and now we're going to mirror the exact application technique on the left side. After that's completed, we will shampoo the hair, recondition it, rebond it, dry it, and then we'll go in with the gray blending at the root. I'm using a demi-permanent hair color in a level 7 to blend away the gray hair at her roots. I'm applying the demi-permanent root smudge and the mid-shaft and end toner to dry hair so I can get better saturation, more intense color, as well as better longevity. When I apply the hair color toners to dry hair, the toners last up to 8 weeks if the client uses the proper sulfate-free shampoos and conditioners that we recommend. In this toner phase of the hair color session, I'm using paper instead of foils to isolate the various colors. When I was using bleach to lift the pigments out of the hair, I used the foil to isolate the colors as well as to act as a mini oven to help increase the lift of the bleach on the hair. But since we're not lifting, we're simply depositing, blending, and toning, I don't want any additional heat, especially at the root, right? That's how you get hot root, is when you apply the hair color close or at the root, and then you put the aluminum foil on top of that. The natural heat that the scalp emits will intensify when it's covered with the foil, and it will cause that hair at the root to turn orange. Look at her previously bleached mid-shaft and ends. That hair is super healthy. It went through the whole rebonding process, the Olaplex number 1 in the bleach formula and the Olaplex number 2 after we shampooed the bleach out. Now, you know, when you use those Olaplexes number 1 and 2, you have to use cold water. You can't use hot water when you're going in to rebond the disulfide bonds with the Olaplex number 1 and 2. You always want to rinse with cold water. I've completed the application of the demi-permanent hair color level 7 to her about a half an inch to 1 inch at the scalp. Now I'm going in and I'm toning the rest of the hair. What I'm doing is I'm blending the hair. I did a weave skip application of the bleach, which is going to give the hair incredible dimension. So I'm going in right on top of the root smudge, the demi-permanent root smudge. I'm going in with a different demi-permanent hair color to tone the blonde. Actually, her hair isn't blonde yet. It's still a combination of a level 8, a level 9, and a little bit of a level 7. It's after we complete the toning that we'll blend all of the various hair colors, the level 7, the level 8, and the pre-existing blonde, the level 9 on the mid-shaft and ends. Bleach is alkaline. It causes the hair to swell, and I love to go in with the demi-permanent hair colors as a toner because they are acidic. They help the cuticle layer to heal and close and remain smooth. I'm feathering the second demi-permanent hair color right into that new growth where I had the first demi-permanent hair color smudge that's blending the gray. Okay, don't be afraid to feather the two colors together. It's going to make a beautiful, smooth hair color transition. With modern hair color products, the hair will be healthier after we finished coloring it than it was before we went through this entire hair color process. I now have products that I can use to molecularly repair the hair before we even start the hair color process. And then all during the process, we add bond multipliers, and then we finish. I love to finish with the B3 bond builders I've added that to this final toning phase. I also added collagen to the demi-permanent toners. I rinsed the demi-permanent hair colors out of her hair with cool water. I applied the gray blending root smudge first and the entire hair color process for approximately 45 minutes. And this is the result. It looks like a beautiful toffee candy. You know, the dark contrasted with the caramel hair color. I didn't give her a complete keratin smoothing treatment, but I did add keratin to her hair to replace what was diminished during the lifting process. I used an ionic blow dryer to dry the keratin into her hair, and I used a ceramic curling wand to add curls and create this hairstyle. It's super feminine, it's super soft, it's really girly. What do you think? This new hair color makes her look 10 years younger. I think I blended her pre-existing highlights with the new highlights perfectly, and I blended away her gray. And to maintain her hair health and hair color, she's going to want to use a color care shampoo. I love the B3. You want to make sure the shampoo is sulfate free with a pH level between 4.5 and 5.5. I do not recommend the Olaplex shampoo and home products. You can buy all the professional products we use on our platform at beautywellnesshaircare.com.